The lesson outcome for this video is, I can solve systems of equations by multiplication elimination. Okay, so in a previous lesson we learned about how to solve systems with the elimination method. So let's look at these examples here. First of all, this one. Okay, would we add or subtract these two equations in order to eliminate a variable? And again, one of the things I suggest that you do is, if you can't notice right away which one to do, just always think, could I add them to eliminate a variable? So we have 7y plus 3y, that would be 10y, right? And then we have positive 4x plus negative 4x, and those would indeed cancel. And then we have negative 9 plus 18, which would be 9, so we'd have 10y equals 9. Now I'm not going to go ahead and solve this system right now. I just wanted to remind you of the fact that we would add these to eliminate a variable. Let's look at the next example. Alright, so in this example, would we add or subtract in order to eliminate a variable? And if we once again try addition, what we're going to see here is that it doesn't work out, right? What we're going to have is negative 13y plus negative 13y. Well, negative 13 plus negative 13 is actually negative 26y. And then we'd have 8x plus 4x, which is 12x, so plus 12x. And as you can see, we did not eliminate x or y. So let's get rid of that. Okay. And I guess I'm having a hard time getting rid of that first part. Let's do it this way. 1 second, bear with me. Okay, there we go. So instead of adding, let's see how subtracting would go. So how about subtracting? Well, negative 13y minus negative 13y. All right, let's think about this for a minute. I'm just going to write it up here. Negative 13 minus negative 13. What's minus a negative right here become? Well, that will become plus, right? The negative becomes a positive, so we're adding. What's negative 13 plus 13? Well, that's 0. So these would cancel. And then we would have 8x minus 4x, and 8x's minus 4x's is 4x equals, and then we've got 21 minus 2, which is 19. And again, we would go ahead and solve. Now, neither of these turn out to have a whole number solution, which we don't need, but I'm not planning to carry these problems out anyways. All right, let's look at the third one. Okay. All right, let's start again with adding. Let's see what would happen if we add these two equations. Well, if we add them, we'd get 5x plus 3x, which is 8x, right? 8x. And then we would get positive 2y plus negative 4y, and that would be negative 2y. Have we eliminated a variable? No, we haven't. So that's not going to work. All right, so let's get rid of that. And then let's try subtracting. So if we subtract these two, we're going to get 5x minus 3x, which is 2x. And then we have 2y minus a negative 4y. Again, that'll be positive 2 minus negative 4, right? Positive 2 minus negative 4. And that again will become a plus right here, which is 6. So we have plus 6y. Did we eliminate a variable that time? Nope, we did not eliminate a variable. So the deal on this example is, since neither of these coefficients, 5 and 3, or these coefficients, 2 and 4, match numerically, we can't eliminate a variable right now. Notice in this example, the negative 13's, the coefficient, they match. And notice in this one, the 4 and the 4, the positive 4 and the negative 4, they match. We're able to eliminate a variable when the coefficients match. Since we don't have that here, we can't use regular elimination. So on the next screen, let's find out what we can do. Okay, so here's that same system of equations. So what we can do is we can use something called multiplication elimination. And what that means is we're going to first multiply one of our two equations by some numbers so that we do get the coefficients to match. Now, there's nothing I can multiply, no whole number I should say, that I can multiply 3 by to get 5. So I'm not going to try to eliminate my x's. But is there something I could multiply this 2 by so that it matches this 4? Sure, the number 2. If I take this entire equation and multiply that entire equation by 2, let's see what would happen, okay? So, I'm going to multiply this whole equation by 2. When I do that, I get 10x plus 4y equals 32. Okay? I multiply this 2 by the 5x to get 10x, the 2 by the 2y to get 4y, and I multiply the 2 by 16 to get 32. Now if I rewrite my second equation right underneath it, 3x minus 4y equals 20, you're going to notice that if we add these equations, we will eliminate y. Because look, we have positive 4y and negative 4y. So they have a matching coefficient, and if we add the two equations, we will eliminate y. So 10x plus 3x is 13x. Positive 4y plus negative 4y will eliminate our y's. And then 32 plus 20 is 52. Now to solve for x, because we eliminated y, we divide both sides by 13. And we get x equals 4. Okay, so now that we have x equals 4, we do know 4 is our x-coordinate of our solution, and now we need to find our y value. Remember that it doesn't matter which of the equations you choose up here. It does not matter. I'm going to go ahead and choose the very first one because typically I'll just choose the one that doesn't have any negatives in it, just if there is one, because we usually work better with positive numbers, typically. So I'm going to take this 4, I'm going to put it in for x right here. So I get 5 times 4 plus 2y equals 16. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 plus 2y equals 16. We are solving with our normal solving steps. We're going to now subtract 20 from both sides. And we have 2y equals negative 4. And we're going to divide both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so we have 1y equals negative 2. So our final solution for this system of equations is 4, negative 2. Alright, let's try another example. 6x plus 5y equals 19, and 2x plus 3y equals 5. Again, if we take a look, if we added the equations, this would be 8x, this would be 8y, so we would not eliminate anything if we added. If we subtracted, we do 6x minus 2x would give us 4x, and 5y minus 3y would give us 2y. Nothing will be eliminated. And again, we know that because the 6 and the 2 don't match numerically, and the 5 and the 3 don't match numerically. So, which equation do you think we should multiply by something, and what number should we multiply by? Well, if you answered we should multiply the bottom equation by 3, that is what I would do. If we multiply this bottom equation, every single term, by 3, you will find out that this will be 6x, which will match that 6x right there. So, I'm going to go ahead and do that. 3 times 2x is 6x, and then 3 times the 3y is plus 9y equals, and the 3 times the 5 is 15. Again, 3 times 2x, 3 times 3y, and 3 times 5. Now I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my first equation right over it. 6x plus 5y equals 19. All right, now, are we going to add the two equations or subtract the two equations? Well, if you said subtract, you are right, Because if we added them, we would get 6x plus 6x is 12x, and that's not what we want. We want 0x, which means they're eliminated. So we're going to subtract these two equations. So 6x minus 6x cancels out, eliminated. 5y minus 9y. That will give us negative 4y. And 19 minus 15 is 4. We will now divide both sides by negative 4. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1. So we are left with y equals, and 4 divided by negative 4, there's a negative here, is negative 1. So again, my solution, this is my x coordinate here. I'm sorry, wow. This is my y coordinate right here. So that's negative 1. And now we need to find our x coordinate. Again, it doesn't matter which equation you choose from back up at the first two equations. Doesn't matter. You could even choose one of these two. Doesn't matter. I'm going to choose the second one. Everything's been positive in these two systems. This one just has some smaller numbers, which again is typically easier for many of us to deal with. So 2x plus 3y equals 5. Okay, I'm going to take that equation and bring it down here. This negative 1 is going to go in for y right here. So we get 2x plus 3 times negative 1 equals 5. So 2x, positive 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, so plus negative 3 or minus 3. We're going to add 3 to both sides. These cancel. 2x equals 8. Divide by 2 on both sides. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so 1x equals 4. And there's our solution.